Each player loses 2 life, and that's the game. Rakdos Aggro for the win! Welcome everyone, thanks for joining me today for another draft of Aetherdrift. I'm Nico, aka another MTG, trying to make the magic happen. So without further ado, let's draft. First pick Samut. I don't really know if I want that. I think that it is a very powerful card, but I think it's just not the best card out of the pack. It's yeah. I may end up in a green and white deck splashing that, but here we have an Outpace Oblivion. That's just a very fine removal spell. I don't love the Adrenaline Jockey very much. It's just not that good of a card. And here we have a Gastel Raider. So let's just try to memorize this whole pack. We have Blossoming Sands, the Raceway Ticket Tortoise, Alacrian Jaguar, so just one green card, that's not very good. We have a Lightning Strike, which I do like, which is kind of good. And it might even come back if we take the Outpace Oblivion here. Or the Samud. I think let's just stick with the Oblivion, just because it's the safest pick here. And here we have pack number 2. There is a Momentum Breaker, which kind of would be a good follow-up if I wanted to be the Rakdos deck. Other than that, we have a Guidelight Synergist, that's a good card here. And some blue cards, Slick Imitator, Howler's Heavy, Keen Buccaneer. I still, there's also the Dracosaur, but I think the Thundering Broodwagon is just the most powerful card in this pack. If I can cycle it somehow, reanimate it, it's good. If not, if I can cast it normally, it's also very good. I think I want to take that over the other cards here, just because it's such a powerful card. And I think it's better than the other uncommons here. So here is also a Stampeding Scurryfoot, and a Grim Bauble, and a Keen Buccaneer. So that is that. In this pack we have a tune-up, which could be used just to get that Thundering Broodwagon back on the battlefield after I cycled it. But there's also a second Outpace Oblivion, and I think that is something I don't want to pass, to be honest, just because it is the best red removal spell. I can even sack it. It deals 2 damage to each player who doesn't have max speed. When I can sack it anytime. And here's also a Lightning Strike. Some decent red cards were in this pack. We have a Skystreak Engineer, which I think is a very solid card. And I'll still take the Outpace Oblivion out of this pack here. And now we have a pick 4 Stampeding Scurryfoot, which is good. There's also Crash and Burn and Mutant Surveyor. I think there's also a Dune Drifter, which is a reanimation spell that might also end up getting something back, but in this case I would have to pay mana value X, so a lot here, 6 mana, to get that Thundering Broodwagon. There's also Broadcast Rambler, a Light Shield Parry, and the Skystreak Engineer. I'll still take the Mutant Surveyor, because I think I can use this card if I end up in a Rakdos deck, but also if I end up in a Golgari deck. So the Mutant Surveyor is just the card for me. Like, this is the best common in the set, and it's the second one coming our way, but I think the Mutant Surveyor is just the better pick here. And now we have a Ratchet Doll, which is kind of okay. I can surveil off of that. There's also Calaxion, which I think is just not that good because it's double black and it's a 7/2, so it can just be killed by anything with power 2. And here we have a Keen Buccaneer and a Burner Rocket. I think what's the best card out of the pack? Probably the Ratchet Doll. So I'll take the Ratchet Doll here and see where this is all going. Here we have a Transit Mage, pick number 6, and that is probably a signal I should not overlook. It's a very good blue card. It just works in the artifact deck, but it can only search for an artifact with a mana value 4 or 5. And I think the Streaking Oil Gorger, just looking at my start here, is the better pick for me. There's also a Nimble Thopterist, so blue might be very open, but I'll still take the Oil Gorger because it fits the Rakdos strategy that I obviously kind of try to aim for here so far. So here we have a Pacesetter Paragon. There's also a Haunted Hellride. Foul Road's Collision Course is a white removal spell that's kind of okay, but I think the Pacesetter Paragon is just good, especially if I end up in an aggro deck here. So let's just put let's just take it here and put it on the red pile. Now we have a pick 8 Beast Rider Vanguard. And to be honest, those other cards, they're just okay. I like the Nimble Thopterist. The Scrap Compactor is also fine. And there were some decent green cards coming our way, but I think the Scrap Compactor just can be a good removal spell, but we do already have 3 of those. So I'll just take the Vanguard, see if some other green cards will come our way. And now the tune-up is something that got tabled. So I'm kind of back to the idea of cycling that Thundering Broodwagon and getting the tune-up here to reanimate that. And obviously it's just the best card in the pack, so I'll take the tune-up here. And in this pack, as far as I remember, was also a tune-up. No one is in white, it seems, but I'll take the Pedal to the Metal here and see. So this is just one idea here, and that might be also there. Those cards I'm fond of. I do like those, and I think they are good. Here I'll take the Rocky Roads. I just don't really know if I actually want to play that card. And here, Light Shield Parry versus Guide-like Matrix. Those cards are both just mediocre here. Brightfield Mustang. And that is a Nimble Thopterist pick 14, which is crazy here. So let's just take it and open the second pack. Pack number 2, we have Gastel Thrillseeker. We also have a Cursed Cloth Wrappings. I think the Cursed Cloth Wrappings is just a very, very powerful card. But I don't think I should be passing that Gastel Thrillseeker, because so far it seems like the Rakdos strategy is the one that we want to pursue, which is the most realistic one, I think. So other cards in this pack is Bloodfell Caves. Just gonna hope that this will return later. But there's also a Legag, a Thunderhead Gunner, and a Streaking Oil Gorger. Those cards, both I can see myself playing those cards both. And here we have Rocketeer Boost Buggy and a Ranger's Ether Hive. So let's just see here. There's a Crypt Caller Chariot, which I don't like in my deck here. There is a Demonic Chunker, which is at least it is removal. I can destroy a creature just for 7 mana. Don't really want to know. I think the Hour of Victory is just probably the better card here. There's also Siphon Fuel. It's not the best black removal spell, but it is a removal spell. And also Pedal to the Metal and a Run Over. But to be honest, I think that this Hour of Victory here just fits the max speed strategy very good. And here we have a Veloheart Bike and also a Nimble Thopterist. I definitely am on the lookout for some cheap interaction here. Here we have the Mutant Surveyor versus Tune-Up or Streaking Oil Gorger. I already have one Mutant Severe and I already have one Streaking Oil Gorger. And I think what my deck probably needs is rather the Mutant Severe than the Oil Gorger, because that can be a really nice finisher. But I do want to be able to play that card, definitely. And 2 times that card is just too good to pass on. So we are some aggro Rakdos deck that aims to go in fast and go in for the win. In that deck, I can see myself playing Endrider Categorizer. It's probably better than the Grim Javelineer, just because it's a 2-drop. It has 3 power, and yeah, so I'll take the Endrider Catalyzer out of this pack here. And here we also have Carrion Cruiser, which is good. Skyseer's Chariot, sure, don't love that card. It's not the best card in draft. So I'll take the Beast Rider Catalyzer and see what else is coming my way. We do have a Slick Imitator and a Fearless Swashbuckler, pick 5. So it seems like people are not interested in playing that cycling deck here, the discard deck. There's also Guideline Optimizer and a Venom Cyclic Gag. And I think what is the best card for me to play? I don't really know if I want any of those cards. To be honest, none of them really fit my strategy. The Grim Javelineer just would be the best fit, but I just think. And here we have Plow Through, Stampeding Scurryfoot, Guidelight Matrix. So probably we should also start considering something else. I don't know really, but I'll just take the Gilded Goda, because I think it's too late to speculate into going another color. I think we should stick with the playable cards that are coming our way. And here we have the Burner Rocket, which can be a very nice combat trick. There's also Bestow Greatness, which is nice in the green decks, and a Full Throttle. I don't want to really play the Full Throttle. I think that the Burner Rocket is just a better card for me here. And here we have Prowcatcher Specialist, Pedal to the Metal. We already have one of those, and I think the Prowcatcher Specialist, it has an exhaustibility, it has haste. I'd want it. I think it's better than the Velocitor. I just think that the Velocitor is not that good at all. So I'll take the Prowcatcher Specialist gladly. And here in this pack, I think what we should take is the second Streaking Oil Gorger. Those cards have been tabled. Guidelight Optimizer. Obviously, the bad white cards have been tabled. A Ripclaw Wrangler and a Marshall's Path Cruiser, which is a really good card, but not for my deck. And so here I'll take the Pedal to the Metal. I would love to see another Gastel Thrillseeker or something, or some other Rakdos top end card. Let's just take the best card here. Interface Ace versus Hull-Drifter. Hull-Drifter, no one plays blue. It seems like no one's playing blue. Kind of. So, waiting on that last pick. And let's just hope for some good stuff in the next pack. There is a Lumbering World Wagon, which is a very, very strong card. But also another Outpace Oblivion. And, you know, we have 4 interactive spells. There's also a Thunderhead Gunner, which is just really good, and an Engine Red. But I think the Gastel Raider, it's the Gastel Raider versus the Outpace Oblivion. And to be honest, I just feel my deck needs more removal, because I can get through with those early creatures. That's more of my strategy. The Gastel Thrillseeker can be just very nice, but at max speed it is a 3/2 menace. But I think that the third Outpace Oblivion that came our way, and it is a good thing that it came our way. So there's also a Crash and Burn, Risky Shortcut, and a Gastel Raider here. And I think, to be honest, let's just throw away the green and black idea. So I think it's Burner Rocket versus Marauding Macaw is just when I cycle something, I can put counters on that. So it's Crash and Burn versus Burner Rocket. And I think it might be Crash and Burn that I want. It's 4 mana to kill most creatures here. There's also the Samut, but I'm not splashing that. I just want to focus on my strategy, hope that this works. And here we have a Risky Shortcut, and I think that I want to have one Risky Shortcut in this deck. And that seems to be the best card for me here. I don't want another Crash and Burn because we have 3 Outplays Oblivion, 2 Pedal to the Metal, 1 Crash and Burn. That's 4 removal spells, 2 interactive spells to give my creatures first strike. I'd actually love to see some more good creatures, but drawing 2 cards and making both players lose 2 life is just too good for me to pass on. Here we have Road Rage, which is a really, really good removal spell, but also Gastel Thrill Roller. That has Trample and Haste, and when it enters, it becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. It's a 4/2 that can be crewed for 2, and if I pay 3 and discard a card, I can return it from my graveyard to the battlefield. That's just a very, very good card, and it fits my deck very good. So let's just take it here. And now we have Pactal Terror, which I don't really love in that deck. There are some artifacts, but not enough artifacts, just like 3 here. And I think that the Bloodfell Caves is just the better card that I definitely want in my deck here for sure. So let's just stick to that plan. And here we have Gilded Goda. I think it's okay. Fuel the Flames, which I don't really love in my deck because most of my creatures have power, have toughness too. So let's just take the Gilded Goda here and see what else is coming. Another Gilded Goda versus a Marauding Macaw. Sure, I'll take the Gilded Goda. Don't love it to play more than 2 copies. And here we have a Dynamite Diver, which is just a fine 1-drop versus Endrider Spike Spitter. And I think, looking at our curve, we have solid 2-drops. I think the Endrider Spike Spitter, it's not the best card, but in this deck, it can be really good. So the Burner Rocket is also, I think, here, putting 8 on that pile. So now I think that's it. Probably nothing else will come our way. I'll take the Bestow Greatness just to put it in here. And here we have another Burner Rocket versus another Risky Shortcut. And I think drawing 2 cards is what my deck wants. The Crash and Burn is fine, but the Burner Rocket is fine, but it's just, I think that the Risky Shortcut has slightly more value, at least for me and my deck here now. I'll take the Defending Rider, and here I'll take the Scrounging Skyray, and that is another Wreck Remover, a Lacquerine Jaguar. So let's just see if that deck can work. So with just 41 cards, and I think we can get away with playing 16 lands. So let's just take out a Swamp and give this deck a shot. Let's just hope it can roll over my opponents. I don't have much of those Rakdos gold cards. Just 1 Gastel Thrillseeker. I still think it has a fair chance, and let's just try it out. Okay, so that is a hand I will keep that, and opponent opens the game with a Tranquil Cove. I'll play a Swamp. Next turn, do I start with the Gilded Goater or with the Gastel Thrillseeker? I think that starts my engines, and I go I go directly to speed 2 with that, so I think that's just what I want. 1, speed 2, and passing the turn. Opponent draws a card. They played a Skystreak Engineer last turn so far, and now they are attacking for 1 and playing a Wretched Doll. Sure, I do like it. So let's just play the Mountain here. And I think, like, I don't love that they have a Wretched Doll here. I think we should just play that Gilded Goater and pass the turn. Don't love it. I don't like it a lot. No attacks. Don't want my Gasol Thrillseeker to be dead that soon here. So we are definitely going to use our removal spells. We need one to get through. Opponent attacks with the Engineer, and I go down to 18 life. So let's play the second Swamp. And now what we can do is I have a Pedal to the Metal, so I'll just attack with both my creatures here. Let's just see if the opponent tries to block. They are blocking, so I'll just give it first strike for 1 red. Yeah, 1 red, 1 black. And I want that to have first strike, black and red. So that is the Wretched Doll gone. And now I still, yeah, I'll play the Burner Rocket just to give it trample, get some damage, go to speed 3, and then I'll pass the turn. Opponent goes down to 14 life after my Gilded Goater had attacked, and that is my turn. Passing the turn, opponent draws a card, has some nice elvish sleeve, and plays a land, a white land, attacks with that Skystreak Engineer, which has vigilance. No, it does, yeah, because of why doesn't it tap? Death Touch, flying, untapping all. Untap it, that's why. No vigilance, but it says untap it. Okay, so now we have another land. I can just crew that Burner Rocket here with the Gastel Thrillseeker. Yeah, sure, I will attack. Do I want to attack with the Gilded Goater as well, just to bluff? They are gonna block me that now, okay. So, however they block, I want to... Okay, that's how they block, sure. My Gilded Goater is dead now. That was unfortunate, but let's just play that Endrider Spike Spitter just to have a bigger creature on the battlefield and pass the turn. Opponent draws a card, plays an air response unit, and passes the turn. So now we have the Mutant Severe and the Gilded Goater and the Endrider Catalyzer. I think what we want to do is to just attack with that Endrider Spike Spitter here. Opponent is blocking with their air response unit, sure, okay. So let's just hope they don't have a Light Shield parry. Nah, they don't. So I'll just play the Mutant Severe and the Endrider Spike Spitter, Endrider Catalyzer, sorry, and pass the turn. Opponent draws a card and plays a Ranger's Refueler, sure. So that resolves. And I found another Pedal to the Metal, which I do love. Let's just attack with all of my creatures here. And see what the opponent is doing. They crewed their Haunted Hell, right? and they are blocking the Gastel Thrill Seeker. I will pedal to the metal, so it just needs 1 X to have first strike and be strong enough to kill that Haunted Hellride. Oh, they have a Right's End, and they played it on the Spike Spitter, sure. So I could activate that ability, but I don't want to because I want to play that Gilded Goda next after the combat. So that is me going to maximum speed and passing that Gilded Goda. Now this has first strike, death touch, and haste, which is nice. Passing the turn, opponent exhausts their Ranger's Refueler, making it a 4/4 creature now. And I drew a land, which I don't love, to be honest, but I'll just play it and still keep on making that pressure, attacking with all of my creatures. They are blocking that Thrill Seeker probably, or Mutant Surveyor, so I'll activate that ability. 1, 2. Let's just activate it once more. We don't have any cards in hand, so just to be sure. And that is our opponent going down to 5 life. So far it's looking good. Let's just see. Oh, wow. They had a spectacular pileup. That is just a very, very annoying thing. At max speed I can search for a card, put it in my hand, then shuffle. Yeah, sure, I want a card. Which card do I want? Probably the Oil Gorger or the Thrill Roller. I'll take the Oil Gorger because it has flying. And pass the turn. Opponent is at 5 life. So if they don't have a flyer, I think, okay, Keen Buccaneer, but we can go in for some damage here. That is my Oil Gorger with haste at maximum speed. It has lifelink. And I'll just attack with that. Opponent, do they have a Right's End? No. So I go down to up to 19 life. Opponent cycles a Waxen Shape Thief, draws a card, draws another card because their turn started. They can now exhaust that Keen Buccaneer, draw a card, discard a card, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature, and if they have no removal spell or no Pactal Terror but no flying creature, I think that's the game. Making the magic happen with Rakdos Aggressive. Let's play another one. Okay, so the first game went really well. Let's just hope the second game will go equally well. Thrill Seeker, Ratchet Doll, Mutant Surveyor, Gilded Goda. Let's just keep that hand. Playing a Swamp. I'm on the play as well, which I do love, with the aggro deck. Opponent opens the game with a Tranquil Cove. Let's play the Mountain. Let's play the Thrill Seeker. Passing the turn, not before going to 2 speed. Opponent draws a card and plays a Plains, followed by a Glory Heath Lynx. Sure. So we just drew Gilded Goda. Let's just attack here. Opponent is not blocking, so next turn I will play that Mutant Surveyor. Passing the turn, opponent draws a card and plays an island, followed by a Canyon Vaulter. That saddles the Lynx, so it's a flying Lynx now, and searching for a Plains. Found the Plains, going down to 19 life. Opponent is now at 20 life again. So what kind of sucks is that, so do I play that enchantment? Sure, I think it just makes it 2/2, and yeah, it just makes it 2/2. I'll play the, or do I play the, no, I'll play the Hour of Victory. Hopefully we can find another land, going down to 16 life again, and I am at maximum speed. So we can definitely use another land. It's not ideal to have no 4-drop and no 4th land on the 4th turn with an aggro deck. and it's not ideal to have a Glory Heath Lynx that can fly over everything and gaining life. So I could use some removal spell. I would love some removal spell. Opponent plays another Glory Heath Lynx. That's just very annoying here. So we did draw no land. That hurts my feelings a lot. I think with this board state, it's not ideal. It's not an ideal board state. Opponent does block with 1 Lynx, and I think that's okay because I can. Okay, so what's the play? I don't want to lose my. I do want to get rid of the. So this has Death Touch. I can just play for 1 red to give my with X. I can confirm 0, give that Thrill Seeker first strike, so that Sundial Dawn Tyrant is dead, and I can use that Burner Rocket on the zombie to kill that Lynx here, which is good. So now it's 1 less Lynx to worry about, and opponent is at 17 life. Draws a card, plays a Swamp, and by the way, if you like the video, show some love by hitting that like or subscribe down below. It helps me out a lot to continue making more videos like this. I'd really appreciate it. And they play a Zahur Glorious Past at maximum speed. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, create a 2/2 black zombie token. So, what to kill? They don't have maximum speed, and they can sack another creature to surveil 1. I'll just outpace Oblivion that Lynx because that is just too annoying here. And now I will crew that with the Thrill Seeker and go in for 3 damage with my Burner Rocket. At least attack with the Burner Rocket. So if they don't block, they are blocking with their Canyon Walter. And this is a fair trade. I don't like them to have blockers. I can use another land, dear Magic Gods. Please give me another land so I can play those cards. I want to play 2 spells in 1 turn. Okay, opponent played a Guidelight Synergist. That's just a 1/4 from itself, and that is 3 damage that I will take. Opponent goes to 3 speed. I would need to get rid of that Zahur, and that would be amazing. So I'll play 1 Gilded Goda and 1 Ratchet Doll. And I will pass the turn because I don't... okay, I can attack with the Thrill Seeker because it has Death Touch. And if they block with the Synergist, it's death. That's at least 2 damage going into my opponent's face. That Glory Heath Lynx were really annoying. Now they have an Ether Siphon making that Synergist stronger, attacking for 2. And I go down to 10 life. At maximum speed now, whenever a non-token creature they control die, they can make a 2/2 token, which I don't love. We need some removal. Please give me a removal spell. Outpace Oblivion. Sure, I will take it. I will kill the Zahur, and I will go in for a lot of damage, which is very nice at this point for me. And go in for 3. Okay, so they make that token. At least it's tapped. Do I want to make a treasure token? At this point, it's too late. I'd rather have 1 more damage to deal. And that is my opponent going down to 8 life. They are not able to kill me this turn, I think, so they might now start to play a defensive game. And we could definitely use another removal spell. Mendicant Core, sure, that is as strong as the amount of artifacts they have. And they are... So they have a 3/4 and a 3/3, and they are haunting that network, and that's the game. No. Wow, what a game! What a nightmare! That's just incredible. Okay, so it's not ideal. I don't have a 2-drop, which I would love to have in an aggro deck. Should I mulligan that hand? I'll give it one shot. Yeah, that's better. I like that. Putting back that Oil Gorger, I think. Keep 6, putting back that Oil Gorger, and hope to draw it another one. Opponent opens the game with a mountain. I'll play a mountain as well and pass the turn. Opponent draws a card and plays an island. And no other card. So I'll play the swamp and I'll start with it Endrider Catalyzer. They have some counter spell? No. Or maybe they have, but they didn't. They decided not to counter that Endrider Catalyzer, just to Lightning Strike it. Still my engines were started. I'll play the, Fearless Swashbuckler. Don't love that here. Opponent, it has haste. And I'll play the Gilded Goda and pass the turn. Not a good start for me here, to be honest. Opponent draws a card and plays an island. Now they are attacking with that Fearless Swashbuckler. No blocks for me. I go down to 14 life and the opponent passes the turn. So let's play a swamp and let's just crash and burn that Swashbuckler. Hopefully they have some counterspell or not. Okay, that is very good. So let's just attack for 2. I'm happy that I got rid of this Swashbuckler. Pirates have haste, no vehicles have haste. Whenever you attack, if a pirate and a vehicle attack this combat, draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards. Okay, cycling a Sky Crash, drawing a card, and now they are drawing another card because their turn started. They are flooding the engine on my Gilded Goda. We could definitely use some other card than a land card. And I think playing that Endrider Spike Speeder, because then next turn we have max speed just by casting that Thrill Seeker. Let's play the Mountain and pass the turn, so my opponent's turn starts. Okay, opponent draws a card, plays a Spire Max Cycle. That's the one that they can exhaust by tapping another untapped mount or vehicle. This vehicle becomes an artifact creature. Put a +1/+1 counter on it for each mount or vehicle you control other than this one. So let's just play one more swamp. Let's just play the Gastel Thrill Seeker. And now I deal 1 damage. Now I am at maximum speed. Oh no, I'm not. I should have done it in the other way around, but okay, let's just attack here. Opponent goes down to 9 life. I am now at maximum speed, which means at the beginning of your upkeep I can exile a card. And because of that, I have a second card to play. Now I will play the land here just to have more stuff. Opponent draws a card. They have some removal spell, I think. And if they remove that Endrider Spike Spitter, that's just very unfortunate. Gastel Thrill Roller, sure. Just some vehicles. I'm not too scared of those vehicles just because they... now it's 4 damage for me, but that's okay. Or it's 5 damage if they crew that one. That's also okay. This becomes an artifact creature. Okay, this is now a creature for sure. Let's take 6 damage. And they are bouncing off my Endrider Spike Spitter, which sucks because now I cannot find a second card here. Aha, okay, so I'll attack with my Thrill Seeker. If they block, it would be a fair trade. But I don't want to trade. I want them to block, and then I want my pedal to the metal. 4, 5, 6. Do I want to go in for 2 more damage? Or do I just... Let's just have the pedal to the metal as the element of surprise. And play another... So I can pump it for 3 and give it first strike. That is strong enough to kill that Spiremax cycle. If the opponent decides to attack, if they don't have a removal spell. And that is a Reckless Velocitor, sure. And how is the opponent proceeding? So they cannot bounce my Spike Spitter, which means I will draw 2 cards, or I will not draw 2 cards, but I will have access to 2 cards, which is good. They accrued that Gastel Thrill Roller and that Spiremax cycle, and they are attacking with both. And I think I want to get rid of the Spiremax cycle because that's the creature, they have to crew that, and I want to play the pedal to the metal just to 1, 2, X is 2, that is now a 5. 5 is strong enough. And my Endrider Spike Speeder gets first strike and +2. So killing that Spiremax cycle is a good thing for me. That Velocitor is tapped, and I think I can go in for 5 damage. Ooh, okay, and then play the risky shortcut. Let's just attack, that is 5 damage, and I can cast that risky shortcut. Each player loses 2 life, and that's the game. Rakdos Aggro for the win. Nice, making the magic happen. Okay, we have a very land-heavy hand here. Turn 1, but I think it's still good. I can play that Bloodfell Coves, gaining a life. Thrill Seeker next turn. Third turn, Mutant Severe. Let's just see how this goes and what we draw. It's better to have 4 lands than to have 2 less lands. And that is my first turn, going to 21 life. Opponent casts a Molt Tender, turn 1. Let's just cast that Thrill Seeker, starting the engines and dealing 8 damage. That is speed 2. Opponent draws a card, plays a swamp, and passes the turn. So I will play a swamp. I will attack. Want to attack here. Opponent does mill a card and then take 2 damage, going to 17 life. Now I can cast that Mutant Severe and pass the turn. Opponent draws a card, plays a swamp. Opponent is in Golgari, plays a Carrion Cruiser, mills 2 cards, returns to their hand a Pactal Terror, which I don't like, and they are playing another Molt Tender, sure. So I will play 1 mountain, and I think let's just play that Gastel Thrill Roller. I can still use my pedal to the metal to give any creature first strike. And that will be enough that none of my creatures die here. So let's just attack with all of them. Thanks. Opponent does crew their Carrion Cruiser, sure. They want to block my Gastel Thrill Seeker. I will give my Gastel Thrill Seeker first strike to kill that Carrion Cruiser, and that is me going to maximum speed, opponent going down to 11 life, and I am passing the turn. Next turn I can draw 2 cards and make them lose 2 life, as well as me losing 2 life, but that's just a fair deal, I think. And if they play that Pactal Terror, I really want some removal spell. That is a Pactal Terror. Opponent gains a life, I lose a life. And that is them passing the turn. We found the Prowcatcher Specialist. Let's just play the Swamp. Let's just play the risky shortcut. Or let's just attack with the Mutant Severe, I guess. Let's just attack with the Mutant. Oh, let's just crew that with the Gastel Thrillseeker. And now attack with those two creatures. Opponent does mill a card and mills another card with the second Moltender, and now they are blocking that Thrill Roller. I can just discard a card and return it from my graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. So what's the play? I can pump this, or I can just play those two cards next after that. I think that's the best thing. Or do I want to discard? Is the Thrill Roller better than a Specialist? I think I can do that later with a land, for example. Let's just do that. So that's the better play. I can discard this land next turn to return that Gastel Thrill Roller. And I have the Outpace Oblivion for whatever my opponent is trying to throw at me here. So happy with how this is going so far. Like, this deals 5 damage. It's not enough to kill a Tarian or a Migrating Ketrodon or whatever they might have. But when this enters, so if I discard a card, return it, then it enters as well. Which is good. Which is really good. Opponent is considering their next move. They are lacking a land, milling a card, and they are milling another card. No, making a mana. Sure. Playing a back on track, returning the Pactal Terror, gaining a life, losing a life, making a pilot. I'll play that Mountain. I'll play that Outpace Oblivion on the Pactal Terror just to get rid of that. And that's my opponent conceding. Nice. I think. Nice. Alright. This is a hand I will keep. No starting the Engines card, but the Outpace Oblivion. But, you know, still a good hand. Not the best one, but I'll still play it. Opponent is playing a second Swamp and passing the turn. They might have something to... So let's just haste with the Prowcatcher Specialist, getting in for at least 2 damage. Do they have a removal spell? I hope not. Okay, opponent goes down to 18 life. So the opponent plays a Grim Bauble, killing my Prowcatcher, which hurts my feelings, but you know, it's okay. Let's play the Mountain, let's play the Gastel Thrill Roller, and go in for 4 damage. Opponent has nothing to play and goes down to 14 life. That's good. I can cast that Thrillseeker next turn. And write a Catalyzer. Opponent is... Okay, so what's the play? I think probably we're missing a land again. Let's play that. Let's play that. Starting the engines is important for me. I want to start my engines. I wanna keep on putting pressure on my opponent. So let's just crew that. Let's just attack with that Gastel Thrill Roller. Opponent does block or not. They do block, so they will get 3 damage out of this. Or not. No, maximum overdrive. Wow. But still 2 damage going to my opponent's face. I go to 2 speed. And Rudder Catalyzer is now a 4-2. But I have that Outpace Oblivion. And if they don't have anything else, I will cast it on the Endrider Catalyzer. I think that's a good play. We could really use a land here. They are attacking for 4 damage. I go down to 17 and they are at 2 speed. And now they cast an Outpace Oblivion, killing my Thrill Seeker, hurting my feelings a lot. But you know, that's how it is. Mutant Severe, Outpace Oblivion, sure, I need to stop them from being fast here. And that is, I have the upper hand card-wise, so they just have 2 cards and I still have a lot, which is good. I think. Let's just, oh, Thunderhead Gunner, wow, that's annoying. So I wanna play the Mutant Surveyor, or do I wanna, yeah, sure. Wow, that hurts my feelings as well. I need a I'll play the Mutant Surveyor. I need a removal spell here. Some interactive spell. Opponent goes in for 4 damage. I'm not blocking them. Go down to 13 life. Opponent is at 3 speed. And they are... playing a Mutant Surveyor, sure. So it's a mirror match here. I hate that I have no lands. Really hurts my feelings. Do I want to get that Gastel Thrill Roller here going? I think I want. What do I discard? Just to Gilded Goda here. And returning that, it becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. I attack for 4. If I attack with those, sure, I'll attack with both. Opponent does... Oh, they have 2 to pump that. I forgot about it. No, this hurts my feelings. But that was my stupid playing. So opponent is at 7 life, but now I think I'm not going to be able to... It's 4... I have that Burner Rocket, which gives +2/+0, and that if I draw a land, then I cannot crew that. No, I think that's the game. If I don't find a removal spell, it hurts that I don't have enough lands here. Maybe I shouldn't play 16, but should play 17 lands. That's me going to 7 life. Opponent does make a lot of zombies. That's the game, I guess. There's no sense in continue playing that game. So I took out 1 Gilded Goda, put in another land, which is probably good, and I don't love it here to have 2 lands only, but I still keep it. Playing the Mountain, passing the turn. Opponent draws a card. Opponent plays a Forest and a Stampeding Squarefoot. What a turn 1. Now it's my turn, and I'll play a Swamp, followed by the Endrider Catalyzer. That is my opponent drawing a card and playing a Mountain as well. Attacking with the Scurryfoot, they might have a Pedal to the Metal, so I don't think I want to block. Not for 1 damage, not risking something for 1 damage. Rocketeer Boost Buggy, sure, they'll not be able to crew that, and we drew that land. So what's the play? Do I want to Outpace Oblivion that Scurryfoot just before, or do I want a Ratchet Doll just to have another creature here on the battlefield? I think I'll Outpace Oblivion that Scurryfoot, because then I can go in for 3, they will not be able to exhaust that, and that is my opponent at 17 life. Opponent plays a Mountain, exhausting their Boost Buggy, sure, going in for 4 damage, attacking, creating a treasure token. I go down to 15 life, but I can live with that. Drew another Outpace Oblivion, and I think it's just what I want to play here, because it's good that my opponent, I don't want them to have a creature. I want to go to full speed and attack for 3 damage. Opponent goes down to 14 life, passing the turn. I'm at 3 speed, and that is, if I am at maximum speed, then I will get off another card off of that Spike Spitter, Oh, opponent does pass the turn. Why do they behave like that? So I will attack. Opponent goes down to 11. I am at maximum speed. I will play that Aetherdrift Spike Spitter now. And they have a burner rocket, sure. That can enter the battlefield, why not? That's okay for me. So I'll pass the turn. Opponent draws a card, plays a land, plays an Aetherdrift Mammoth, which is really annoying. We need our third Outpace Oblivion, but I don't think we're gonna find it. I do have that pedal to the metal, and I think it's very important. So found this, found another land. Let's just play that. And let's just attack with all of my creatures here, sure. They are blocking somehow or not. So they crew that burner rocket and they block my Aetherdrift Catalyzer, and that is, so I wanna give it first strike, or I can deal them 2 damage, 3 for 8. Let's just play the Wretched Doll here. Let's just deal 2 damage with this. Let's just deal 2 damage with that. So opponent is at 4 life. If they find removal for my Spike Spitter, that will hurt my feelings. They have an Elvish Refueler. They can even exhaust that, which sucks. So we found another card. Come on, come on. No Outpace Oblivion, which sucks. Let's just now attack with all of my creatures, which is important. So they are blocking with that Aetherdrift Mammoth, and they are blocking with that. Let's just hope they don't have a run over. If they have a run over, then I'm screwed anyway. So let's just give my creature here first strike and +2. Autopay. Do they have a run over? Please not, please not, please not, please not. Please not. Oh, they have something, I know it. They have a pedal to the metal as well. Wow. So at least both are dead. And I can cast that Mutant Severe from... Okay. So that's at least the Aetherdrift Mammoth gone, which was the biggest threat for me. Now we have a Hazard of the Dunes. Don't love that here, because my Streaking Oilgorger won't get through. Risky Shortcut, playing a land, draw 2 cards, each player loses 2 life. And I found a Crash and Burn. I want to attack. I can pump that Mutant Severe here. They are blocking with both. So let's just... That's 6 damage to the Hazard of the Dunes. And my Mutant Severe is dead. Their Elvish Refueler can grow bigger, but I can still exile this to draw a card. Next turn, okay, sure. Ha, come on, I need to deal 2 damage in some way. Opponent attacks for 4. We drew a land, sucky. Don't love that. Risky Shortcut, and that's the game! That's the game, Risky Shortcut for the win! Nice, what a game! Making the magic happen! Alright, that is a no-keep hand. Don't love that. I mean, I can cast those cards, but I think creating a treasure token if that attacks while saddled. I will try and keep it. It's not ideal, but if I create a treasure token or if I draw another swamp, then it's going to be fine. Okay, so all the worries for nothing. Sometimes just keeping the hand is the better move here. Aetherdrift Catalyzer, starting the engine, passing the turn. Opponent plays a Plains and a Venom Cyclic Gag. Don't love that, but it's okay. Drew a swamp, and now I will attack with that Aetherdrift Catalyzer. Opponent does block, which is okay. I don't love it, but I'll play the Mutant Severe. They want to stop my aggressive deck here from getting through, so in the late game they can cast all their annoying stuff. Let's play a swamp. Let's just attack for 2. They are blocking, no blocks, so I want to cast. I'll go in for 2 damage, and then I'll play the Gilded Goda and pass the turn. Opponent draws a card, plays a forest, attacks for 2. I'll take the damage, no blocks. And that is me going to 18 life. Opponent now casts a Lagorin, Soul of Alacria. That's the one that can put +1/+1 counters on creatures when it attacks. So now I will play that Streaking Oil Gorger just to be able to ensure me getting to 3 speed, and that is a very good thing. Opponent does block the Gilded Goda. I can understand that, but now they're both dead. I'm at 3 speed. Opponent draws a card, plays a forest, plays an Ovia, sure, I can live with that. Doesn't attack. Let's play a land. Let's just attack here. Okay, how will they proceed? If you like my stuff, you can just show me some love by hitting a like or subscribe down below. It doesn't cost you a thing, it's for free, and it helps me out a lot to continue growing and making more content like this. So I'd appreciate it a lot. Okay, opponent does block with their Cloudspire Captain. They could have a Light Shield parry. I don't think so. Nobody ever plays Light Shield parry. So I do. Oh, they didn't block. That is no blocks. So what's the play? Do I just pump that, activating it once? Sure, let's just activate it once and then cast that risky shortcut to ensure me drawing 2 cards. Opponent is then at 5 life. Draw 2 cards. That's very good because I hate to draw that many lands when I have those. So risky shortcut was definitely the right choice for this game. So I will stop playing 16 lands in my aggro decks. I will just keep playing 17. It just I lost 2 games because of that. I only had 3 lands. Now I am kind of flooded, and that's the risk of playing a card game. But to be honest, I think that playing 17 lands is just better, because I'd rather be a little flooded than lose some games because of only having 3 lands in my aggro deck. Okay, so I go down to 14 life. Opponent. So we have some stuff. 4, 5, 6. Let's just play another mountain, and let's just attack with my 2 creatures here. Opponent does not have anything. You may put a creature, okay, sure. They are putting +1/+1 counters on that Legag here. So if they just block the Mutant Severe, I can just pump the Oil Gorger for 2. Let's just make it 3 here, just to be sure. And that is the game, I guess. If they don't have a Right's End as well, that would be the game. That's it. Nice. Nice. Okay. Wow. Talking about having a many lands in my hand, I don't want to keep that hand. It's too clunky. This is not looking much better. Still can't cast. Let's put away the swamp. Can't cast anything before turn 3, which I don't love. Let's just hope we draw something that is pretty reasonable. Streaking Oil Gorger is a good card, but not the card that I wanted to draw. Opponent plays a forest followed by a Wreckage Wicker Folk. They are surveilling for 2. Surveil 2, that might be just... The Golgari deck can be too strong here. That 1-3 is just a good start against me. Passing to attackers, my turn. We drew a Pedal to the Metal, not what we wanted to draw. Let's just pass the turn. Doesn't look... That's a shabby start. It's a shabby start, to be honest. Okay, taking a damage, going down to 19 life. Opponent casts a Regal Imperiosaur. My turn. We need that Outpace Oblivion, and we need it now. Destroying that Regal Imperiosaur. Okay. Opponent draws a card, plays a swamp, plays a Gaunty. That also needs to be dealt with. And they took my card. Come on. Don't take my cards. That's annoying. Let's just play the Pace Setter Paragon and pass the turn. Opponent does deal combat damage. They will take my cards. Gaunty is just too annoying here. I go down to 15 life. They will take 2 of my cards, which I hate. That's my good cards. They played a Mountain here. And I don't even see what cards they have. Playing a Mutant Severe. So this start was just too very, very suboptimal here. Do I want to just try to... Like, if they attack with that Gaunty, I need to... Wow, so what's the play? I can give it this double strike, but I can just wait for the opponent to attack with that Gaunty and hope to surprise them with one of my Pedal to the Metals. Don't love to have to play a defensive game here with my aggro deck. That's just shows that we are moving into a very unideal situation. So let's pass to blockers. Choosing that as a blocker. 1 blocker, 2 damage. And now I will play that for 1, 2. And just hope they don't have anything to interfere with my Pedal to the Metal. They might have something. Run over or whatever. If not, then I am happy. Okay. Am I happy? No. Maximum Overdrive. That just hurts a lot here. Indestructible and Death Touch. So my creature is dead anyway. Which really hurts my feelings a lot. I don't think I'll be able to turn that around. With the Regal Imperiosaur on turn 3 and the Gaunty on turn 4, that is just insane. That is just too crazy, and now I am at 12 life. And my deck doesn't work with like that. They take my cards. Gaunty is just annoying. 2, 3 cards. Playing my lands. What a nightmare. Come on. I hate that. I think I shall just concede here. Playing a land, playing the Oil Gorger. That's it. I'm not going to be able to turn that around. That's just it. Anyway, I think that the game, that it was a very solid deck. We just had 1 Gastel Thrillseeker. That shows that if you just focus on drafting the good comments and have a good solid aggro deck, it can still achieve some wins here. I'm happy with that deck. It went in 5 in 3. And that's okay for me. I like that. If you like my video, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like or subscribe button, because it helps me grow and make more content like this. And if you have any feedback, any suggestions, if you saw me making some grave mistakes, you let me know in the comments, and I'd be happy to read about that. And I wish you a nice day.